And in the final chapter of the book, you talk about this heart awakening. You also talk about reincarnation and the afterlife. David, is there a way to break out of this simulation?
Well, okay, once I'd reached this stage, and I'm looking at all these near-death experiences accounts and watching them, listening to them, there's many different common themes, endless common themes, that they leave the body and then there's a light or a tunnel, and suddenly they might see their religious heroes. If they're a Christian, they'll see Jesus or whatever. And they see spirit guides, and they see elders or wise old men. They might see, what they perceive to be family members and stuff. But I go into all that. Maybe that's not what they are. And then they kind of learn. A lot of them learn that actually what's happening is we're reincarnating consciousness, what people call the soul, more to know about that, out of this other dimension, what's called the spirit world or the afterlife world, which is just part of the simulation. The real afterlife, eternal world is beyond it. It's what they don't want you to know. And Buddhists have this idea of the wheel of samsara, where you keep reincarnating to learn lessons, to reach a state of enlightenment where you can leave the simulation, if you like. And so I looked at this, and in the book I look at some of the massively impressive evidence for reincarnation. There was a guy called Ian Stevenson. He was a psychiatrist. I think he died in 2007. He was born in the early part of the 20th century. And he had most of his career going in pursuit of evidence for reincarnation. I think he first came across it and it interested him, and then he really got into it. And what he was doing was talking to children who said they could remember, quote, past lives. And often these were real small kids. And they would give him, in different countries, and they would give him phenomenal detail about places, what was there, names of people, and where it was and all that stuff. And what Stevenson would then do is go dispassionately, because he was trying to prove them wrong, that he would go and check it out. And he found that even in fine detail, what these kids were saying was checkable fact. The one I remember, which I quote in the book. This young lad, small lad, he claimed that he had this life with this family, with this people, and that he'd been the husband, I think it was husband, of a wife, and the wife was still alive, right? So and now he's a kid, and Stevenson took him to the family and introduced him. And of course they were skeptical, but they were questioning him, and he was giving them the right answers. And then one of them said, I think it was the alleged wife, well, we couldn't find your will when you died. Where is it? And the kid went over to a floorboard, and when they opened the floorboard, there was the will, right? So this is the level of detail that this guy, I mean, he did thousands and thousands of them. And then you look at, these various programs, and other books, the things like, I think they call it The Ghost in My Family, and the Children That Time Forgot, and all these different things. And the evidence is massive. My problem with it was, why the hell would you come back here? Because, we've traveled, and, I've traveled to many, many countries. There's 60 odd now, it must be. I don't travel to many now. I'm banned from nearly 30 European countries, Australia, and a lot of others if I try to get in. It's kind of a strange thing when you're banned from all these countries and banned from YouTube and all that stuff, and these mainstream internet people, mainstream alternative people are still on bloody YouTube. I mean, what's going on? Obviously, they're not a threat to the state, or they wouldn't be on YouTube, or to the cult, because they're holding the line, you see, keeping the genie from getting too far out the bottle. Anyway, I looked at, the places that I've been over the years, as I mentioned earlier, Africa, South America, Central America, and Asia. And the vast majority of people here are not having a good time. They're trying to survive another day. And, the idea, you come here to learn lessons. Okay, so what lessons are the kids in Gaza learning then? And so I accepted, the evidence was overwhelming, that the reincarnation of consciousness in and out of this world was real, but the reason for it, I completely challenge. I say it's a trap, and the reveal is the third in a trilogy. I call it the reality trilogy. It's the trap, the dream, and now the reveal. And it's my view, and I explain why in the book, and a lot of the how as well, that what's happening is consciousness is leaving the human world. It's entering what it perceives to be the afterlife, quote, heaven, which is not difficult because the density of this reality and the challenges of this reality mean that when you leave the body and you leave the density of this reality, anything's going to seem like bloody heaven in terms of reality and the less dense frequency that you're experiencing. And they're told, and this is endless in near-death experiences, they have to learn lessons. And therefore, they go through this life review. This is a constant theme where elders watch their life review of what they've done in the human world. And they say, oh, no, you've got lessons to learn. It's your karma. You've got to go back and all this stuff. And I say it's a trap. And a couple of things. First of all, what I've found as I kind of observed the experiences and the descriptions of this other reality, which, like I say, is another level of the simulation because it keeps you in the simulation. The eternity is beyond it. It's amazing, although the frequency difference is vast, thus it seems like heaven-like, the basic structure of both these levels of the simulation are the same. In the human world, people look to experts and authority to tell them what to think. Oh, he's a scientist, he must know what he's doing. Oh, he's a doctor, thank you, doctor. And so on and so forth. All these, they must know, they've been to university, they must know. And so much of human response is based on authority figures and responding to them, seeing them as knowing things that you don't. And then when you go into this other realm, when you see all these near-death experiencer accounts, they're faced with spirit guides and religious heroes and elders. And they are seen as authority figures who are all-knowing. And therefore, the dynamic is still the same. You're told what to do here. You go into this other realm, what's called the astral dimension, and then you're told what to do by other authority figures, and you do what they tell you. Oh, you've got to learn lessons. You're in this wheel of samsara. Until you break out of it, you are there until you break out of it.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.